Okay. What's up? Hello. It's been a while. Again, I feel like I say that every video, but maybe that'll change. Maybe it won't. I'm all good. Let's get right into it. Okay. Let's jump right into it and kind of start talking about why I think this is going to be the best version of TBC that has been released so far. There's a few key points I want to walk through that will be happening in the next version of TBC for Classic Anniversary. The three of those kind of points are going to be about boosting, the raids, and all of the nerf talks that we have going on, as well as, of course, OnlyFangs and that happening in TBC. So let's start with boosting. And I think if you are not aware at this point, boosting in TBC is dead. And this time it's going to be for all of TBC instead of just the end. Previously, in the first re-release of TBC, they banned boosting towards the end, where they added in these anti-boosting mechanics. Blizzard has decided that they're going to add in these similar anti-boosting mechanics at the beginning of the release of TBC Classic this time. So this means mages and paladin boosting, it's dead in TBC for all of it. There are plenty of videos kind of covering the changes in more detail. They're similar to the last set of changes that Blizzard had put in the first release of TBC, so I won't cover them specifically. You can find that information elsewhere. But however, really, just so you know, boosting as we know it from vanilla, as it is in the current state of Classic Anniversary, it's dead. Now, while there are genuine concerns that I've seen and other people have been talking about in terms of these mechanics, and some report that these mechanics are leaking into normal dungeons and causing issues that way. Obviously, it's going to hurt solo players wanting to farm. I completely get it. My main is a mage. I've sold boosts on current Classic Anniversary, so I kind of can speak firsthand to the fact that, okay, well, this is going to affect me in TBC. I won't be able to boost or farm dungeons or do anything like that. But let's assume that the mechanics only affect the boosters. They're implemented correctly, which is potentially unlikely, knowing Blizzard's track record. However, let's just assume that, and let's say that things are implemented correctly. I'm personally a huge fan of this change. And the reason for this is currently I'm playing a ton of Classic Anniversary, much more than I'd like to admit. I'm working on getting 60s prepared for TBC. I'm ranking characters. I'm playing a ton. Nothing is feeling worse to me than kind of seeing the game, seeing LFG being just spammed with Jaja mages all day, taking over all the chats, LFG services, all these things, and kind of hiding players that actually want to play the game. I'm aware that at this stage of Classic Anniversary, of course, there is not a ton of pugs and a ton of dungeons and a ton of things going on, but it still exists. And for players that don't have add-ons like LFG bulletin board or other things, and all they see is in LFG just services and selling and boosts and things being spammed into the chat, it's hiding any kind of dungeons, any kind of raids. Actual players wanting to play the game are getting drowned out by people that are really just trying to exploit and make money off the game. As a player, I just don't think it feels good. It doesn't look good. It's like, well, this game is just a bunch of bots and gold sellers and people that only want to exploit, and not actually people that want to just play the game for fun. It makes the game not feel alive. In a good way. It feels alive, sure, but with boosters, is the game really alive? Now, full disclosure, I'm fully aware that the boosting ban will not completely eliminate gold selling, buying, or gold inflation. I'm just hopeful that it will make a positive impact in that regard as well. I'm not sure that it will. Obviously, bots will continue because Blizzard refuses to ban botting, but at least this is maybe a kind of positive change in that direction. But for me, the main impact is the feel of the game. I don't want the game to be swarmed with foreigners who are only playing on an NA server to sell gold, inflate everything on the server, spam chats. I think it's a positive change that all of TBC is going to have boosting banned. Again, this is coming from a mage player who bought his epic mount with selling boosts. I still think it's worth it to ban the boosting. Okay, let's move on to raids and the raid nerfs. I know this is kind of a very heated debate along in kind of the classic community on Reddit and things like that. So let's talk about these raid nerfs. So if you're not aware, all TBC raids are launching in their post-nerf version. What this means is, let's just keep it simple, all raids will be much easier. I've been watching many streams of folks playing on the PTR, and the raids actually are looking much, much easier, of course, than the first launch of Classic TBC. So easy, pugs are going in with no organization, nothing, and they're kind of like clearing Kara first try. A lot of people do think this is way too easy, and Blizz should maybe return to original difficulty. In my opinion, of course, ideally, Blizzard would actually put in some effort, maybe create two versions, one that could be pre-nerf, one that could be post-nerf. You wouldn't even have to change the loot, just let players play on whatever version that they want. Obviously, that comes with a slew of questions and design work and things that Blizzard would actually never do because they want to just simply take the easy way out, of course. At this point, in my opinion, if you're playing Classic WoW, any version for the difficulty of the raids, I think you're just playing the wrong game. This game is a casual difficulty, hardcore time sink game. Mechanically, the game isn't demanding. Again, casual difficulty, hardcore time sink. The game is demanding purely in game knowledge, in time, not actually in too much, at least in PvE in general, even in Classic or in any version of kind of the Classic universe. Skill, the more time you put in, the better you are, really from just a knowledge perspective. Raids in Classic are meant to be quick and easy. I think it's a get in, get gear, get out. The raids have been and will always be kind of a checkbox in my mind for the week. And I don't see the point in trying to make that checkbox more difficult. There's a lot of casual WoW players, and it's important to keep that community, considering they are the majority. It's important to keep that, that community happy, I guess is the way you could put it, right? I think it's only hindering more players from playing the idea that we are trying to make these raids more difficult. The raids are easy either way. There's nothing wrong with them being easy. I think with easier raids, people are going to be more likely to stick around in TBC, giving us a more lively game over the whole year. We want the game to be alive. Classic, TBC included. In my opinion, it's about playing multiple characters, leveling, and being able to enjoy the endgame content, not struggle through it. And the endgame content is not the entire game. The raid nerfs are good. They should keep them. I'm a big fan. I know that's kind of a heated discussion. We'll see what people think. So the third and final discussion point that I want to talk about is the OnlyFangs discussion in TBC. If you've kind of followed Classic WoW over the past year or two, I'm sure you know about OnlyFangs. OnlyFangs was the biggest content streamer guild for the launch of the Hardcore Anniversary servers back in November of 2024. And it was a massive success, huge viewership on Twitch, YouTube, whatever. I think it really added to the hype of the game. And the plan is that for TBC, OnlyFangs will return. Now, if you don't know, Blizzard has also clarified that Hardcore Anniversary servers will not go to TBC. So how would OnlyFangs work on normal servers? That's an ongoing discussion. There's plenty of videos discussing that and what that could look like. Maybe I will talk about that a little bit further later. However, I think having this large streamer event like this in TBC is huge for the life of the game. The more people that are watching, the more people playing, the more hype, the better. Previously, the only hype for TBC was TBC itself, which on the first relaunch was enough. It's fine, obviously, but once you try to do it again now for a relaunch, adding something new is what is needed to create hype. It can't just be the same thing again. I think anyone that is anti-streamer or anti-OnlyFangs, I think you're lying to yourself if you are not willing to admit that OnlyFangs and that whole thing that happened with Anniversary, it totally added to the hype of the launch of the Anniversary servers and made them all, including the normal servers, even without OnlyFangs, much, much better. So those are the three kind of big ones that have been discussed. the boosting, the raids, OnlyFangs, I think it's going to only make TBC better. I'm trying to stay positive about TBC and Classic Anniversary. I'm very much looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about all of these changes. Are they good? Are they bad? I'm positive. I'm happy about it. I think it's going to be a good thing for TBC. So I look forward to playing it soon. Thank you all very much, and see you in the next one.